Hello and welcome to another video. First of all, disclaimer, I am doing this for educational purposes only. If you need further support or guidance, please contact a mental health professional, preferably someone who understands narcissism. In fact, I think that is an absolute prerequisite. Unfortunately, there are a lot of therapists out there. They're doing the best they can, but they just don't have the knowledge or the expertise to fully understand what narcissistic abuse entails. So that's something to ask about. Make sure that they have an understanding of that dynamic. It's very important. I also am not providing any sort of legal advice. I am not a legal expert, so I'm offering more of an emotional, how to deal with things in more of an emotional standpoint around certain boundaries and things like that. And so please consult with a lawyer, particularly if you are dealing with any sort of custody issues, if there's children involved, or some kind of, even if you're entangled in some kind of business or finances or anything that becomes complex and you might have to deal with that other person on any sort of legal level, you will need the expertise of a legal professional. So very important. I'm also not providing any sort of diagnosis or talking about any specific cases. This is all in a very generalized sense. That being said, let's get going. Today, I'm going to talk about something called parallel parenting. You cannot co-parent with a narcissist. It is not possible. Anyone who tells you any differently, they don't understand the dynamic. Sometimes you might have to give maybe the appearance of co-parenting if it's for around custody or any sort of legal things. So again, that's why it's important to consult with a lawyer around things like that if things are a little sketchy, or sometimes there can be complexities in certain cases if you're dealing with that. If you are beyond all the legal stuff and on a little bit more clear footing, things become a lot easier. So again, it depends where you're at. It depends the age of your kids. I mean, if your kids are adults, you never have to talk to that person again. So yay. But if you have kids under the age of 19 and you have any sort of shared custody agreement happening, you will unfortunately have to deal with that other person in some way. One of the tools I've talked about in the past was Grey Rock. This is where this is going to come in really handy for dealing with this person. Grey Rock, limited contact, all those things they all kind of overlap. And again, it depends on the type of narcissist they are, and there are nuances around this. So these are other things that I will address in further videos when I am going to talk about the types of narcissists, because there are many. I'm going to give some of the main types, and I can also talk about issues around very specific parenting strategies around dealing with those people at a later time. This is more in a generalized sense. So parallel parenting, you parent, they parent. Do not do shared birthday parties. Do not go to dinners, not have family events together. It's just going to not work out. Somebody's going to end up in tears. Maybe you, maybe the kids. It's not going to be pretty. And it gives them ammunition. The more you're around that person, the more ammunition they have to possibly cause more harm for you or any children involved. So things get sticky. So parallel parenting, it's very limited contact. If you can, please try to only have written communication and not have to talk to that person on the phone and even see them if you don't have to. Sometimes you might have to attend school meetings or things like that. So again, Grey Rock, boundaries, all those things. Keep it very limited. Don't get into anything with them at these particular, if you have to see them in person, don't get anything around. Just try to stay very neutral as much as you can and give them little to no information around what's going on. The nice thing about written communication as well is you have a paper trail now. You have everything in writing, so if they make any threats or if they do anything or say anything weird, you got it all down. And that could come in handy if there is a court case pending or anything you need your lawyer to possibly see. This is good. So you want this. That being said, try to come up with some agreement that they will only contact you if it's things around kids, any sort of, custody issues, things like that, visits, things that pertain to that. Only if you have some sort of, maybe you have a home that you're selling or some sort of business entanglement, obviously those things as well. But right now I'm dressing more around parenting. So unless it pertains to parenting, you don't need to see it. Um, Learn the art of skimming. Sometimes they might send a bunch of nonsense and maybe they hide something in there that you might need to know, like, oh, I'm picking up Joey at 3 or something. Skim, don't pay attention to any of it. If they start accusing you of things, throwing things out, that's where the lawyer comes into play. That's where you let the lawyer handle that. Pass it on to them. Let them deal with the abuse. Let them contact, if they have a lawyer, contact theirs. Try to stay out of that as much as you can. Try not to let it get to you. Sometimes you have to kind of put on a little bit of Teflon around yourself to protect yourself emotionally. Do as much as you can around that. The longer you do it, the easier it does get. And all this also, things depend on the age of the children. If they're very, very young children, it's a little harder. Not going to lie. They do grow up, though. Not that you're wishing their lives away or anything. It gets easier. And one day they will be past the age where you have to do any sort of parenting together at all, and you get to go bye-bye. So until that day comes, though, you have to deal with them on some level, but try to keep it as limited as possible. And if they're being nice, they want something. Not, they haven't suddenly turned around and become a better person. They haven't made this huge change. Sometimes they might try certain tactics on you. Don't fall for it. Just steady as she goes, and just try to keep that veneer. Do the thing with the limited contact, the gray rock, all those things. So again, parallel parenting, no co-parenting. Do not go to therapy with this person. Again, I can't stress that highly enough. They try to drag you into some sort of family therapy or something. Sometimes you will, unfortunately, be, I guess, forced, for want of a better word, to attend some sort of co-parenting therapy or something. That can sometimes happen, and you have to go. You don't have a choice. However, again, you're going because you have to, and take everything with a grain of salt. And whatever you need to do, again, this is where the lawyer comes in. Lots of sticky legal things can come into play. So I'm not telling you what to do as far as legal stuff. I want to stress that as well. This is more around the emotional component. So do whatever you need to do to protect yourself emotionally. Anything else, let a legal expert handle it. Get support. You're going to need support in this. Find somebody. If you can't afford it, there is sometimes more lower cost therapy. The only problem is those people may not be well versed in narcissist abuse. So if you can afford it, even if you can go once a month, once every 6 weeks, it's better than nothing. Do it. I can't stress that enough. It's worth every penny if you can find a person who has some background in narcissistic abuse, even if you go once or twice to learn some strategies or tools or just as needed. Very important. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions or want me to elaborate further or want further videos around this topic, I could go into more detail. Shoot me some comments, and please like this video so I can be seen by more people. The more people that like me, the more people I can bring this information to. I really want to get this information out there. It's really important. And please subscribe. Hit that little subscribe button. Just take some minute or a few seconds. Hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye for now.